first things first, you might have noticed that I am not wearing my black wool and dress. I got about 2 weeks in, and then laziness won over. I took it off to wash and then never retrieved it from the dryer to put it back on. So I've been wearing my own clothes the last couple of days. I mean, I guess that's my clothes too, but I've been wearing my other clothes for the last couple of days. And I have not put it on yet, so I have to restart. They say with the 100-day challenge that you're allowed to be missing 5 pictures, as in, I take that to mean you forgot 5 different days to take a picture. I don't think they mean you did not wear it for 5 straight days. So I am just going to restart and try to be a little more responsible. And when I wash it, go get it and put it back on like I had been doing. So that's the explanation for this outfit. And now in today's video, we are going to discuss how I price my crochet products to sell online and at markets. If you're looking for a really technical video accounting for every bit of material, stuffing, and safety eye, this video is not going to satisfy you. While I do take my business seriously, and it is my business, I'm registered EIN number, small batch manufacturer, all of the things. I can collect sales tax in the state of Florida. I like to make things as simple as possible. And for me, it was much more stressful to try to measure exact amount per gram of yarn, stuffing, each individual safety eye, and because the packs of safety eyes different price to price. So then I was like, okay, well, was this set of safety eyes or was it this set of safety eyes? I don't remember. So I simplified things, and now I just set an hourly rate that I would like to make, and then round that up a little bit to account for materials, and then round that up even more if it's something I'm selling online, because I have to account for shipping materials, the box, the crinkle paper in the box, paper and printer ink and things for printing out the packing slips and all the things, and tape. And then I try to roll in shipping with my price. So the customer pays that. They don't know they pay it because I register, or I categorize it under free shipping on Etsy and through orders that I take on social media and things. So the hourly rate that I like to shoot for is around $15 an hour. For my smaller items, I actually tend to make a little more because they are just made faster, and I can round up a little bit on that. And then my bigger items, I kind of round down a little bit. So what that means is my hourly rate that I like to aim for is $15. To account for materials, I usually add $1 to that for 16, or as much as $2 or $3 if it's something that I'm going to list online. So yeah, most of everything that I make for my markets, when I was tracking every individual thing, the cost of material wise was $1, $2. So that's why I throw in that extra $1, because that covers my material cost. So I have my set hourly rate, and then I time myself. Okay, so let's get into an example. My little mini all from Jade octopus octopi, those take me 20 minutes, including the blanket yarn version that's slightly bigger. You've seen them in my other videos. I will link the last everything I made for my upcoming market video right here, so you guys can see everything. The small version that's made with just regular worsted weight yarn takes me 20 minutes and costs less to make than the slightly bigger version that's made with blanket yarn, but it takes me the same amount of time, basically. So at $15 an hour, if it takes me 20 minutes, I should be pricing about $5. I tend to sell my small versions that are regular worsted weight yarn at $5 to $6. That $6 being actually accounting for material and keeping that $15 an hour price point. And then the bigger ones, because they are bigger, and I think that size of items should also play a factor in pricing items, I sell them for $9. And I actually recently have started selling more in the blanket yarn version for $9. So as you can see, that's quite a bit over the $5 to $6 that I should be charging for. So that's what I mean when I tend to make more money on smaller items. they're faster to make. But because I tend to use thicker yarn, or if I'm using worsted weight yarn, I hold it double to make a slightly bigger product, I have more of a chance of making a little more money on them than if I make a mermaid that takes like 3-4 hours to make and I only sell it for like $35-40. That brings my hourly rate quite a bit down, but I've found, at least for me, that the like sweet spot is between $35 and $40 as like my high end priced items. So I do make a little less on those items, but I also sell them less because most people aim for the smaller items made with blanket yarn. Like my little fruits, those are really quick. Those are like 20-30 minutes. My little octos, those are 20-30 minutes. At least the pattern that I found that I stuck to. I had tried previously a couple different octo patterns, and my favorite one is an All From Jade, like baby octopus. I think it's her most recent like octo pattern, because she had a few variations and I tried like all the different variations, and she just found ways to like make them faster and faster each time, which is why I think she like updates the pattern like every year or a couple of years. So when I have an hourly range I shoot for, I like keep that in mind, but I also factor in the size of the item. And then because I like to do baskets of my smaller items on the table to keep it in like pricing sections, I also take that into consideration. So I might make a little more on something or a little less on something depending on the size. Like the size of my fruit, that is more in the like size of my little octo section. So those are $9. And then I have these little like chicken ducks. There's like a chick and a duck that are like the same size as my Katie Being Creative frogs. I use her pattern and blanket yarn or parfait chunky, and they come out right about the same size. I price those all for $15, even though the frog pattern is a little faster than the chicken duck pattern, because I have to sew on the like beaks and stuff on the ducks, and like the wings are kind of crocheted on, I think. No, maybe it's the feet that are crocheted on, and then you sew on the wings. Either way, it's a little more work to do the chick pattern and the duck pattern, which are the same pattern, just a pattern modification. But because they're like right about the same size, I price them all the same price, and I make a little more on the frogs because they are simpler no-sew patterns than I do on the chick and the duck pattern. I hope that makes sense. Now it's just how I do it. It might not work for you, but I think it keeps it relatively simple for the customer, because things have like price ranges rather than everything has its own individual price. And for most of the things, I keep them in their like section, because I have baskets for these smaller things that I place low. The smaller things that fit in baskets also happen to be my cheaper items, which I keep right at eye level to a child, which I swear by, helping you get sales. And then I keep my like more expensive stuff up higher, because adults tend to appreciate like the bigger things with more details a little more than they do like the smaller cutesy things. So parents will pick them up and be like, oh, this will be perfect for so-and-so. And then they tend to like buy that. I mean, it doesn't always work like that, but you'll notice trends like that the more you sell. So yeah, that's just how I do it. And I think it's what's easy and works for me, and what's easy and works for my customers. And now when I go to price online, it kind of works the same way. Now I won't be comparing it to my own items necessarily the way I do for selling at markets. I'll be comparing what I made to like the size of like competitors' items, because I want to be comparable. Now I might be comparable but a little higher, because I believe in pricing at like the top 10%. I never want to like undercut myself. But if somebody is selling a toy this big for like $35-40, and then I'm selling a toy this big for like $150, whose do you think is going to sell more? And that's not to say customers always shop the cheapest thing, because that's a common misconception. They definitely do not always shop the cheapest thing. Some people might, but that you're going to notice, especially for people who shop on Etsy, is like not the norm. People go to Etsy because it's handmade, handcrafted, like higher quality things. It's not just like craft moms throwing up stuff that they made in their spare time. most of the sellers on Etsy, especially if you go look at most of the top sellers. Like, you could tell the hobby people are apart from the like, this is my business and I take it serious people. And I tend to price in that group because, like, well, this is a hobby. I am actually out trying to make some money. I don't know that it's ever going to be like my full-time business. I have my writing job as my like full-time business. And that's a little more profitable. My longer articles, I can make $500-700 on one of them. Whereas like selling a toy, so far I think the most I've sold a toy for, I don't remember exactly, but we were like hitting the like $100 range. But that was for something that was like a foot tall. That's pretty big in the land of crochet, especially considering it was made with worsted weight yarn. So that was a little bit of a labor of love. It was made for a friend, so I discounted as much as I could discount, but I am not going to give away things for free. I do make crochet gifts and occasionally give them away for free. Like my sister-in-law's birthday was last weekend. Well, her birthday party was last weekend. And I made her a cow because she's like obsessed with cows. And you'll see the video of me making a cow at some point this month on my channel. But yeah, when I want to make a gift for free, I will in fact make a gift for free. If someone comes to me wanting free stuff, typically the answer is no, but I will give you a discount because I like you. But also, like, I do this a lot for work. And sometimes the stuff you're asking me to make, I just don't want to make. But money is pretty incentivizing. But that's why I like to do custom orders. I know some people hate doing custom orders. I like a challenge. I've made things that I never thought I would make or be interested in making. Like, one of my favorite custom orders was the Titanic that I made for like a little 6-year-old kid. That was a really cool order, and I never had thought to make the Titanic. That's what this stuff was for, because I put it in the bottom of the ship to keep it flat. And I also just used that again for another custom order for a child, because I like made a replica of like his little like Play-Doh sculptures. I did like plushy versions of that. That was pretty cool. Anyway, I'm just babbling now. The whole point is, this is what works for me. It may not work for you, but people have asked me how I price my products, and this is how it is. To like recap, for myself, I aim for an hourly rate of like $15. Typically, I stay within the like 10 to 20 range, but like the whole aim is at least $15 an hour. I'll bump it up a little bit to like account for materials costs sometimes. And then I price like in categories, which also helps bump it up because I make more on the octos made with that. Like, that accounts for some of my materials for my more expensive things that I'm only getting like a $10 or $12 hourly rate for when I made them. But because I make more on my like lower price stuff, I can sell my like bigger, higher price things a little bit cheaper than I normally would, because I make so many sales on the lower price things where I'm making more. You see what I mean? And then for my online stuff, I set an hourly rate that's usually a little bit higher because I have to account for like shipping materials and things. And then I price not based off my own stuff. I price more based off the competitors' things to try to stay like in line with them as much as possible, on the higher end, but in line with them. So I'm not like crazy out in left field. And then I meant to say earlier, like, I have proof that people don't just buy the cheapest thing that they can find, because when I used to sell jam on Etsy, and I'll link the video right here where I talk about how much I like initially made on Etsy. I think I talk about it. If not, the thumbnail was a callback to that. But I made like $3,000 in a couple months selling jam. And I was selling like 4 ounces of jam for like $11 or $12. I was like, I'm pretty sure at the time, the most expensive jam on Etsy. And people thought that like it was going out of style, like a lot. That's half the reason why we shut it down, was because it was just my spouse and I making jam for, it felt like, the entire freaking world. And we couldn't keep up. And in my opinion, we weren't making enough to like go full time with it and like hire employees. So we shut it down. And it's like stopped being fun. And I never want to do anything unless it's like I actually enjoy doing it. Like, occasionally I'll get an order that I don't love making, but I still enjoy crocheting in general, so I'll like continue to do it. People will buy things even if they're expensive, and yeah, So don't ever like undercut yourself. I mean, you can a little bit strategically, kind of like I do on some of my higher priced things, but don't make something that takes 2 hours and sell it for $5. Like, please don't. One, you're like way undervaluing yourself, which is obviously not something you want to do. And two, it creates the helps further the mindset to people that crochet is just a hobby. It's not hard. Yarn is cheap. And it makes it harder for people who want to price things like a little more reasonably to be able to do so, when they could just go to you and pay $5 for like something this big that took you a bunch of hours to make. You know what I'm saying? So value yourself more, but please value like our business also, because it's important to not just you, but to everybody. Feel over. Yeah. I'm gonna be done talking. And that is it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. And if you want to see more crochet content, feel free to click on this video right here.